There are many elements that go into interior design, but one that's left out so often is the lighting design. And we're going to talk about that in this home that I'm standing in. We have a kitchen with an open great room, and you can see the many different layers of lighting that I used. All have their own purpose. So in a kitchen or a bathroom, you definitely need task lighting because you perform multiple functions there, from in the morning getting up, getting ready, to relaxing at night in a bathroom. In a kitchen, you're cooking, maybe the kids are doing their homework. So it's very important that you have control over your lighting and that you have a layered lighting plan. So we're going to talk about, in this particular home, how I achieved the general lighting and the task lighting and the ambient lighting, and we'll start with the kitchen. The first layer we're going to talk about in this kitchen is the general lighting. The general lighting illuminates the pathways and is a much softer light to the task lighting. It is about half the lumens as the task lighting over the counters. I'm going to talk about two different trims that I use to artfully light this kitchen. So the general lighting, I always use a flood light because you just need the light softly to illuminate the pathways and filter light up vertically in the kitchen. Because if you have cabinetry, you need to vertically light down the wall without creating scallops. And how I did this in this kitchen is the 4 cans that you see where the wall cabinets and the tall cabinets are at, I used wall washers that took it from the ceiling down. And so you can see it's soft illumination. There's no scalloping or bright areas on our cabinets to distract. It's just beautiful. It's artfully lit. The other general pathway is just flood lights that flood space, like about a 40-degree flood. Again, half the lumens of the task lighting that we're going to talk about next. The task lighting serves a completely different purpose than the general lighting. It's to do task by, and it's to light over our work surfaces where we're going to do our prep or clean. I use an MR16 LED for those areas because it's a tight directional beam spread, and the placement is very important. I like to make sure that my beam spreads will intersect 6 inches above the counter space, and lighting's very mathematical and it can be exact. So I'm able to do that mathematically, and that eliminates spots of light, and you get clean illumination across a work surface. And on an island, it could be quite theatrical if you had a beautiful marble that you wanted to pop in a room. You could certainly do that very easily by the proper placement of the MR16s. It could literally take on a theatrical look. For the under cabinet and interior cabinet lighting, I like to use an LED with a lens. To get that even illumination, once again, you want that even illumination. If you were to use puck lights, you would have puddles of light that would be distracting. And with a decorative backsplash, it's so important to not distract. It's important to show it as it is. So also, you wouldn't want to use just LED lights without the lens, because then it becomes more like Christmas lights and you get these hot spots. Once again, it just creates what I call noise in the room. You want the lighting to be soft and effective. The decorative lighting is also part of our ambient lighting. It helps set the mood. It also sets the character or the style of the room that you're trying to create. As you can see with these large chandeliers over the dining table, this home happens to be in the Bahamas, so I was trying to get a soft coastal feel, and I think that they do that quite well. Now let's talk about a very important piece to this equation. It's the proper color temperature and color rendition index, the CRI. You need to keep your finish materials true and people that are using the space comfortable. Color temperature refers to the color of the light source itself, while color rendition refers to the relative appearance of colors of materials under an artificial light source. Both are of the utmost importance in the outcome of how one feels and sees the finishes of the room. As an interior designer who wants a space to feel inviting and comfortable, I recommend the color temperature be 2700 Kelvin. When you get to a 3000 Kelvin, it starts to get more like an office and your colors start to gray out. And then the higher the Kelvin temperature, the more grayed out and muted the colors become. It is also important to me to make sure my finish colors of the room are seen how they were intended to be seen, true. I always want to find a lamp with a CRI, color rendition index, of 95 and definitely no lower than 90. With a layered lighting design, you have given the person the ability to create different lighting scenes. And to complete that, you need the controls. You can get as fancy as you want with automated lighting solutions, or just use regular lighting switches. All lighting zones should be dimmable in order to give the user the choice of the light levels of the room. In great rooms, you can keep the lighting much softer. You can even light the space with table lamps because you're really wanting a cozy, relaxing feel. In this particular great room, I've added layers of lighting and also giving control over certain sections because we have two groupings here. We have a sectional couch where you can watch TV and just hang out, or we have a social gathering space where, possibly you're sitting there having tea, coffee, a cocktail. And I've given controls over both groupings separately so that you can literally have two different groups of people, because that's the way this is kind of set up. So I kind of look at how you're going to use the space as to how I'm going to light it. I've also added some accent lighting here with the sconces, and all of it is dimmable so that you can get the scene that you want, that you desire, for whatever time of day it is, or however you would like to use the space, you have the ability.